I guess today is just simply not my lucky day, because my neighbors just don't want to stop making noise. Let's get this video done either way. Hi, welcome, what's left of the Black Desert community, and yeah, let's talk about this week's patch notes as fast-ish as possible, just because this week I don't believe I can make them that fast. Either way, we got some relevant changes, not exactly hyped about reading them to be honest, just because maybe I'm tired or I don't care enough and there is the noise again. Anyway, let's start from the top of the page with the event tab and work our way down from here. The first event is called the Lauren Family Gift event, which if you don't know yet how it works, all you have to do is to stay logged into the game for 5 hours every day. You will get 50 coins as a result of that, and you can exchange 30 of those coins to get one box, and then you open that box to get these rewards. It's just as simple as that. Stay logged into the game for 5 hours every day for the next 3 weeks, and that's about it. After that we have the second event, which actually was not repeated in the past, and this one is called the Valencia Huntathon has started. So this one will last only 2 weeks, and you have to have a hunting match log and hunt the newly added hunting bosses in the Valencia area. Not exactly a lot to it, just simply hunt the new bosses. You will get these participation rewards, and at the end of the event, which is after 2 weeks, they are going to have some form of draw or poll, whatever, and a certain amount of people are going to win these rewards. Again, they are not really super relevant in my opinion. Only 10 people are going to get the 20 days value packs, and besides those value packs everything else is meh. So moving on, find your balance. When you log into the game, you're going to see in your mailbox as an appreciation reward for bearing with the developers while they made the oh so awful PvP changes. They sent us in the mail a 1-day skill reset and 1-day skill add-on reset, which I guess it's fine. They are free, so there's that. Moving on, we have the ongoing events, which are from the previous weeks, all of these. And after that we get into content changes and the actually important stuff. Lan finally got its absolute skills, which I guess it's nice, but still she has no awakening, so again, meh. I would actually rather see the awakening. New monsters for hunting were added in the north of Arehaza forest in Valencia area. So as I said, we have 3 new hunting bosses: the giant mountain goat, the giant lioness, and the giant lion. If you are into hunting, you should check them out. If not, for most of us who are not into hunting, it's nice to see the change, but not exactly looking forward to it. After that we have some irrelevant fixes from system, pretty much irrelevant. They did say optimization work has been performed to improve the frame rate in areas of Calphion, Heidel and Altinova. Not sure how much it was improved, because usually these changes don't make such a big difference, but still, maybe the frame rate is going to work better in these 3 areas. After that, game changes, not exactly anything besides fixes, and we get into class changes, which pretty much is the most important stuff, I guess, from this patch note. Let's go together through the all class changes, and then you can read the class individual ones yourself, because there is a lot to read for each class, and I don't know how other classes work besides Wizard and Ranger. So for all classes, negative karma players, now if they get killed by monsters, they are going to lose 2% experience, which I'm not sure why it is listed, because I'm pretty sure that's how it used to work in the past. So I guess it's a new change, maybe. Anyway, for awakening skills with counter features, defense effect has been reapplied, and CC skills effect will not be applied in PvP. Pretty much what this means is you will see in the class specific changes some skills that offer protection like super armor or frontal blocks no longer have a CC effect that applies for PvP. Instead, that effect is only going to apply for PvE. And then super armor defense effect has been added to skills that could be performed to enter combat. Thus, more engaging combat will be made possible. For Ranger, for example, they re-added the super armor effects on the two dashes, the breezy blade and then the flow for it. For flow skills that are performed in combos after the preceding skills, will now maintain the defense effect of the preceding skills. So basically, as I said for Ranger, if you have Breezy Blade, the dash, and then the flow for it, which is yet another dash attack, both of them are going to have super armor effect. However, if it's a flow skill that can be used independently, defense effect will be applied as the other ordinary skills. That's pretty much it. Also, CC effect has been removed from the skills that have defense effects only in PvE, as I said already. And now I guess I can scroll through all of the class specific changes, because they just pretty much explain what I already talked about from the all class section, and we can move on and talk about the item changes. From here, again, as always, a lot of fixes which nobody cares about. The only change that I personally am interested in is the maximum prices in marketplace for certain TET and pen accessories was adjusted, and the same for certain pen world boss main weapons, sub weapons and defense gears has been adjusted. So probably they changed the prices to match maybe today's incomes, I'm not sure. Fixed how maximum durability for pen items was not being recovered, whatever, a lot of fixes. And let's talk about actually the monster changes, because here they actually made a change to world bosses, which I personally am not really a huge fan of. World bosses will spawn following the timetable below, and once a world boss is spawned, PvP will be disabled for 15 minutes. This one is pretty nice, but they kind of went overboard with it, you will see in just a second. This is the timetable for NA and EU. Pretty much every boss now has its individual time when it's going to spawn, so no longer guessing and waiting for bosses to appear. Xarka, Karanda, Kutum, Nuver and the Offin boss will spawn in all servers except the Arsh server and the Olvia servers. The Quint and Muraka will also spawn in all servers compared to the previous 20 random servers, and Vel will spawn in 10 fixed servers, all of them with the 4 and 5 at the end. So there's that. World bosses will despawn naturally after 15 minutes since appearance. Not sure if people are happy with this change or not, but now whether you attack a boss or not, even if you start basically the boss, he's still going to despawn after 15 minutes. However, you will still get the loot even if the boss despawns, so I guess that's a nice compromise. This pattern is going to apply for all bosses except Vel, because I suppose that one dies slower, so that one still follows the old pattern of 30 minutes if not engaged, and naturally despawns after 1 hour. So there's that. PvP will not be allowed in all servers upon a world boss spawn. This is the part where I said they kind of went overboard, because you can't do duels, you can't do PK, you can't do guild wars while a world boss is spawned. I understand the part with guild wars and maybe PK, but why do they have to also deny people the ability to duel? Anyway, the only two exceptions are Red Battlefield and Arena of Arsh. Besides these two, every other area is going to have PvP disabled, and this includes the training arena or whatever the name it was for it. If you are in that, you will be pretty much kicked out of it after 15 seconds. So again, why did they have to include that one as well? Also, server change is not allowed for 15 minutes after a world boss spawns. So now there is no chance you can kill 2 world bosses at once, because they are going to despawn in 15 minutes and you can't change servers for 15 minutes. So from now on you only get 1 world boss, and you better pick the server right, because if you are on an unpopulated server you probably will not get such good loot from it. Even if the boss dies, or I mean even if the boss despawns, you still get the loot, but I'm not sure how good the loot is going to be. Actually, let's talk about that. So reward loot will be given to all adventurers who participate in defeating the following world bosses, so there's that. Participants with contribution that falls below 10% rank in defeating world bosses will not be able to acquire the following items, so pretty much the special boxes, the Xarca box, the Newer box, and so on. Reward loot will be obtainable for world bosses even when those world bosses despawn naturally. I already said that. Newer will now spawn right after the world message. I suppose that's because every boss has a specific time when it spawns, so there's no need to wait for the newer boss to spawn. The following has been changed for the world boss Mirmok Destroyer Offin. All of these changes if you are interested. The shield HP was decreased by 60%. I suppose they just made him easier to kill so that he doesn't despawn, maybe. I guess that's the case. HP of Quint and Muraka was decreased by 40% as well, and there goes the noise again. Mutant Enhancer dropped as loot have increased from 1 to 5 to 7 to 20 pieces from defeating Quint, so I guess that's a buff to that boss. Fixed some issue. Azula weakened accessories have been added to these areas: abandoned iron mines, helms, elrics, and the dungeons at Helm's Post. So I guess we are now moving out of the world boss changes. So that's pretty much it for the world boss changes. We have the newly added Azula drops on media, and we move on. The chance to obtain knowledge has been increased by 2 to 5 times for defeating the following monsters. This one is not super relevant unless you had problems getting knowledge from these monsters. And let's see what else we can talk about. Some fix: adventurers cannot enter, so this was the name, Battle Arena when a world boss spawns. For adventurers who are already in Battle Arena, as I said, they are going to be automatically kicked out after 15 seconds. This one is definitely a not needed change, and I don't know what this is going to fix or who this is going to make happy, because the Battle Arena has in no way anything to do with making world bosses easier. Maybe it's to force people to do world bosses so that more people do them on every server, but meh. It has been changed that dual and PvP mode would not be possible when boss monster spawns, as I already said. And that's pretty much it for the patch notes. The quest changes are irrelevant, and from interface changes, can I mention something? Not exactly. Next claimable attendance rewards will now be displayed on the UI on the end game window UI, and they added a copyright button on the settings window. And a lot of fixes, so that's pretty much it. Resolved issues, fixes, and we are done. So I'm pretty sure this was not as fast-ish as possible, but oh well. For this week we got the changes to the world bosses. Now they have a fixed spawn rate, they only stay up for 15 minutes, and you can't do any form of PvP while they are spawned. So better watch for those times if you have events planned as a guild to do guild versus guild or something like that. Just check all of the spawn. Check the spawn table for each boss and make sure they don't overlap. And besides that, we have all of the PvP changes with the protection that was added to some skills back, and the CC of those skills was changed to only work in PvE. And besides that, there's the events, and that's pretty much it for this week. So you could add up this entire patch notes into we got some PvP changes and some world boss changes. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was useful, and I will see you guys in some different video, which I'm not sure what it's going to be. So yeah, see ya!